What did your child do that you weren't allowed to be proud of? Got called into my son's middle school yesterday around 2 in the afternoon. Walking down those familiar hallways, I had that familiar knot in my stomach that comes with any unexpected summons from the principal's office. When I arrived, I found my 13-year-old Jake sitting in the corner chair looking completely unbothered, almost serene, while 3 other kids sat scattered around the room with red-rimmed eyes and tear-stained cheeks. The vice principal, Mrs. Henderson, gestured for me to take a seat. She had that expression administrators get when they're trying to figure out if they're dealing with a problem child or something else entirely. She started explaining how my son had been disrupting his advanced math class, but what she told me was nothing like what I expected. There's this substitute teacher, Ms. Johnson, who had been subbing long-term for their regular math teacher. This woman had developed what she probably thought was a motivational teaching style. She would make kids solve complex problems on the whiteboard in front of the entire class. When they inevitably struggled or got the answer wrong, she would make them stand there while she loudly explained to the room how some students just aren't cut out for advanced thinking. The humiliation was apparently her idea of tough love. My son Jake had apparently been keeping a detailed log of every single humiliating comment she made to different kids. For 3 weeks straight, he documented names, dates, times, exact quotes, everything. This kid had been conducting his own investigation while his classmates suffered in silence. Yesterday was the breaking point. She called this quiet kid Marcus up to solve a particularly challenging equation. When he couldn't work through the problem, she delivered her verdict with surgical precision. Well, I guess not everyone can be college material, Marcus. Maybe you should consider trade school instead. There's nothing wrong with working with your hands when your brain isn't built for this level of thinking. That's when my son stood up from his desk. According to the other kids who witnessed it, he was calm as could be when he said, "Ms. Johnson, you've said variations of that exact phrase to 12 different students this semester. Would you like me to read my documentation? Because I've been recording everything for the past 3 weeks." Then this 13-year-old pulls out his phone like he's a prosecutor presenting evidence and starts playing back crystal clear audio of her telling another classmate, "Maybe math just isn't for everyone, Sarah, but I'm sure you'll find something you're actually good at someday." The whole classroom went dead silent. Then Ms. Johnson immediately started screaming about unauthorized recordings and privacy violations. She demanded his phone, threatened to have him expelled. That's when several other kids started speaking up, confirming Jake's recordings and sharing their own experiences. Principal Martinez called me in because while everyone agreed Ms. Johnson's behavior was completely inappropriate, my son had technically violated the school's policy on recording without consent. The substitute was immediately escorted from campus and banned from returning. The district is now investigating how she passed their screening process. But because of the recording policy violation, my son still got a week's suspension. On the drive home, Jake stared out the passenger window before finally looking at me with worried eyes. "Mom, did I mess up my permanent record? Will colleges see this suspension and think I'm a troublemaker?" I pulled into the GameStop parking lot and turned to face him. "Jake, you just protected 12 kids who couldn't protect themselves. You stood up when adults should have been paying attention but weren't. That substitute was destroying kids' confidence every single day and you stopped it." His shoulders relaxed for the first time all day. We went into GameStop and I told him to pick out any game he wanted. Price no object. Sometimes doing the right thing comes with consequences, but that doesn't mean you did the wrong thing.